We have all been predisposed to understanding what a nuclear attack or a nuclear bomb would look like. We all have seen the mushroom clouds that they leave behind. We have seen movies such as The Day After and others that depict nuclear holocaust, nuclear wars, and we have also seen nuclear bombs go off in numerous movies and TV shows. So all of us have been pre-exposed to what a nuclear attack would look like. Or have we been? So what if I were to tell you that the nuclear attacks that they show in the media and on the TV programs and in movies, that's one way of having a nuclear attack, such as the atom bomb dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima in World War II. Although there is evidence that those were not actual atomic bombs, but that those cities were firebombed, and we can get into that in another episode. Again, we've all been pre-exposed to what a nuclear attack or a nuclear bomb should look like. But what if I was to tell you there are other forms, other methods of nuclear attacks that don't look like that at all? As a matter of fact, they're so secretive and benign that you may not even know it's happening right in front of you. And that's going to be the topic of today's discussion: a nuclear attack on our person. And what I mean by that is you and I are all constructed from DNA. And DNA has a cell nucleus. When that nucleus is attacked, it is a nuclear attack. It is an attack on the nucleus. The nucleus has now changed, and it has changed the DNA in the structure of man itself. So the cell structure contains nearly all of the cell's genome, and nuclear DNA is often organized into multiple chromosomes, long strands of DNA dotted with the various proteins such as the histones that protect and organize the DNA. Now, these genes within these chromosomes are structured in such a way to promote all cell function. The nucleus maintains the integrity of genes and controls the activities of the cell by regulating gene expression. Because the nuclear envelope is impermeable to large molecules, nuclear pores are required to regulate nuclear transport of molecules across the envelope. The pores cross both nuclear membranes, providing a channel through which larger molecules must be actively transported by carrier proteins while allowing free movement of small molecules and ions. Movement of large molecules, such as proteins and RNA, through the pores is required for both gene expression and the maintenance of chromosomes. Now, although the interior of the nucleus does not contain any membrane-bound subcompartments, a number of nuclear bodies exist, made up of unique proteins, RNA molecules, and particular parts of the chromosomes. The best known of these is the nucleolus, involved in the assembly of ribosomes. So we can get into deeper and deeper about the structures of the nucleus, which contains nearly all of the cell's DNA, surrounded by a network of fibrous intermediate filaments called the nuclear matrix, and is enveloped in a double membrane called the nuclear envelope. The nuclear envelope separates the fluid inside the nucleus, called the nucleoplasm, from the rest of the cell. The size of the nucleus is correlated to the size of the cell, and the ratio is reported across the range of cell types and species. So, what we're talking about here is our nucleus is the core component of your DNA. And effectively in 2019, a first strike nuclear attack on our DNA was executed. Now, we know now that they initially tried to say it was natural, formed in a wet market with bats. We know this to be a lie. Now they're spinning it and trying to say, well, there could have been a leak in a said lab. But my contention is that is also a lie. It was never leaked. It was, for all practical purposes, let out. They knew what they were doing. They were going into an election cycle, and they released this upon the world. A first strike nuclear attack on the world that permanently changed the DNA of mankind. The record now shows, because now we have the data, the history, the proof that we did not have in the beginning when this started, but the data is now in, and the results show that DNA damage with the oxidative stress parameters and the cytokine levels significantly increased in the SARS-CoV-2 positive patients when compared with the healthy controls. And the effects of the infection on DNA damage and immune responses may be crucial in the pathophysiology of the disease. And in this review, we focused on current evidence of the mechanisms of DNA damage mediated by the that we can't speak of. Data supports that these viruses can induce DNA damage. Data supports, I'll say that again, data supports, the proof is in, data supports that they do induce DNA damage at a nuclear level. Genomic instability, cell cycle deregulation during their replication in mammalian cells, and you are a mammal. It is confirmed. It is documented proof. There is no longer a question about it. We all know the people that are getting the extra blood clots, the myocarditis, all of this stuff. These young people that should not have these type of infectious degenerative diseases. So, in my humble opinion, and we need to get more people talking in this dialogue, I'm tired of everyone acting like it was some accidental leak. If it was so accidental, why did they cover it up and say it came from the wet market? In other words, they never even wanted to confirm about an accidental leak because there was no leak. It was a deliberate release. The leak is just a secondary cover-up because the people that didn't buy that it came from a bat in a wet market proposed that it must have been a leak. But my contention is it was released deliberately. It was a first strike nuclear attack on mankind of this planet. And it forever changes the DNA of anyone it comes in contact with. I mean, can we grasp the seriousness of that for a second? They have genetically manipulated mankind, and there's no going back. And we're going to sit here and act like it was a bat or it was a lab leak instead of talking about the truth, that it was a first strike nuclear attack on mankind. Wake up, people.
right?